Hey Kale, is this a good surfboard to transition to from a longboard? I weigh 75 kilos, what's that, about 150 pounds, a little bit more, and I'm this height, etc, etc. Okay. This video is for the person who's trying to downsize their longboard but doesn't know when and doesn't know how. If you're new here, my name is Kale, I'm a surfer and a filmmaker, and here you'll find all sorts of epic surf content like tutorials to help you surf better, important reviews and more, so subscribe down below and join me on Instagram at KalesBroccoli. It is very rare for me to find a surfer who is on an ideal surfboard for their abilities. Oftentimes, people ride a board that is far too small for their skill level, which drastically hinders their paddling potential and thus wave catching progress. Today though, I want to talk about the flip side of the equation, where someone is riding a board that is too long. Now, I'm not talking about choosing to ride a longboard, which some of you might know I'm taking a deep dive into myself. I'm talking about the situation where a surfer's board is too big and cumbersome to allow them to progress any further with their on-wave abilities. Now, I was working with a surfer a couple of weeks ago who had been putting into practice my ultimate surf skate program, and I was really relieved because his timing of his speed flow technique was really on point. I was actually quite shocked at how good it was, but there is a but here. Even though the timing was fantastic, there wasn't this huge corresponding performance arc or speed boost as a result. Take a look. Even though the surfer is timing his speed flow really well, his board is too big and stiff to really respond to his movements. The best analogy here, it's like turning a boat. The bigger the boat, the more stable it is, but the harder it is to turn. The smaller the boat, the less stable it is, but the easier it is to turn. So the big question here, are you after stability right now in your surfing, or maneuverability? If you're looking to progress as a shortboarder, then once you've mastered your pop-up and the ability to catch almost any wave that you paddle for, it might be a sign that you're ready to reduce stability in favour of manoeuvrability. But be careful, jumping ship too early is a common mistake. Now, a big mistake that people make is they sort of feel like a board like this is holding them back, and then they say, okay, I'm going to get a shorter board. And they jump too far, in my opinion, to a board like this. Now, this is a more radical shortboard. It's built for performance, not necessarily stability. What these people are missing is the intermediary stage. This board here in the middle. This offers a blend of the maneuverability and the stability of the longer board. There's a lot of potential in a shape like this. It's an ocean and earth happy hour, it's a beautiful foamy, and I think for a lot of people that I coach, and a lot of people that I see surfing, it could be the perfect board. The idea of a bridging board is kind of a new concept for many people because we've polarized the market here in surfing a bit to be either beginner or advanced. In reality though, most surfers, I would say 80 to 90%, are actually somewhere in the middle. Now, a board that's too long will probably perform more favourably than a board that's too short. However, if you feel like you're approaching sections like this one here, a potential manoeuvre section, and just can't seem to muscle your board into position, then you might benefit from jumping onto a bridging board. I think the reason a board like this works so well is because of its overall shape. It's a very forgiving shape. It's also carrying a lot of extra buoyancy, which means for me, wave catching potential. It's just a nice round and soft, beautiful area of foam that I think lends itself to that point at which 80% of surfers are around the world, right in the middle of advanced beginner and intermediate surfer. It really does come down to what you want to achieve with your surfing. I've had clients who kind of already rip on a longer surfboard, and only after working out their goals of wanting to rip even harder and realizing they could actually be doing bigger and better turns do they order that bridging board. If you're after safe, consistent fun, and you don't really want to challenge yourself too much, then a longer board might just be your perfect shape. But for those who are interested in gaining tons of speed on all forms of waves, getting tubes, trying airs, and other cool maneuvers, then dropping board size will be necessary. The shortboarder in me definitely watches surfing like this and thinks about how sick it would be to see those turns smashed out on a shorter board. I can almost guarantee they'd be faster and certainly look a little bit cooler too. The key thing here is to not pull the trigger too early or too drastically, I think. So many people that I work with are on a suboptimal board, and that's why I created the Ultimate Surfboard Buying Guide, which you guys can check out in the link in the description below. Remember that foam is your friend. Without enough buoyancy, you can't paddle. Without good paddling abilities, you can't catch waves. And obviously, if you can't catch a wave, you can't stand up and get to enjoy a ride. And that's what we're all here for. We're not here for the image of walking down the beach carrying an ultra high performance shortboard, are we? I haven't ridden one myself in a very long time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also join me on Instagram as well, at Kale's Broccoli. Even though I'm taking a big break over the holidays, I'm back here in South Australia and I'm looking forward to taking some time off. Thank you so much for such a big 2020. What a strange and interesting year it's been. Hopefully we can have a much more positive experience next year in 2021. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Extra buoyancy, it's forgive